Hey, Thomas again. How are you?
Jonathan, I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, my brother?
Doing well, thanks.
Awesome, awesome. So what do you got going on today? What's the subject?
All right, so why don't we talk about the similarities of being an entrepreneur and an athlete, a professional athlete, or any athlete for that matter, and how that coincides with one
I,
another.
I think that's a great way of putting it. There's a lot of people who have sports analogy out there, but you know what? Both of them have to train to be successful. So you know what? I'll let you start it off. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's talk about work ethic and how both of them are really important to be an athlete and to be an entrepreneur. And what you need kind of goes a little hand in hand with what we said before, that if you're trying to be successful in anything, being an athlete, being an entrepreneur, it's not going to come 9 to 5. It's going to take all different types of effort, and the habits that you train for is going to be what really makes you move to the next level.
Hmm.
Obviously, as you start to be either, you may not know, you may be good at what you're doing, but you may not know what steps you're going to need in the future. It's doing it daily, learning from what you made mistakes with, seeing what's your regiment, what you want to do, what you need to do to be
Hmm.
a stronger athlete or a more intelligent entrepreneur, and how you can kind of build your foundation to go forward.
Sure. Hey, listen, if you start breaking down what's an athlete do, athlete's going to have themselves in a routine, and that routine is their habits. Okay. They're working on their agility. They're working on their strength. They're working on their cardio. They're working on their diet, and that's what they're doing. Something we should all pretty much incorporate into our everyday lives to have a better wellness. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
they're taking it to an extreme level, of course. So you know what? An entrepreneur needs to keep fit. And you know what? Knowledge is keeping fit, keeping on top of your competition, keeping on top of your industry, know what's happening out there in the marketplace, what's coming down the road. These are the things you have to know so you'll be able to be more strategic with your clients and closing your deals. You got to be resilient. That's very important in business. Okay. You can't let the defeats get you down. You just got to build upon them and build confidence from that. And you know what? Eventually, like just in sales, every call that you make, you're going to get a bunch of no's, but after a certain amount of no's, you're going to get a yes, and that's going to continue. That's a win for you. That's a W in your column. On that aspect. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, like anyone. I'm sure you ask a lot of people who are athletes, who are entrepreneurs, and it never comes easy, right? You always have losses. You always have issues that come into your, daily life. You may have not made that team that you thought you were going to make. You may have not got that client that you thought you were going to get. You may have disappointed yourself, and you may have had the opportunity to go to the next level or to keep a client, and you made a mistake. It kind of goes back to what we said in our last video. You have to learn from your mistakes, right? If you make a mistake, you have to see what you did wrong. What was the issue? How can you fix it so it doesn't happen again? You're never gonna start off and have never a setback. Um,
Failure, failure is very important to have in your life. It's okay to fail as long as you learn from it. If you continue to keep failing the same way over and over and over, you're just going to be in a hole. That means you're not learning from it. You have to gain that failure comes knowledge, because you got to think about why you failed. Why did we lose against this team? Or could our offense done something better? Could our defense done something better? Could we been more controlling the ball or the puck down the ice?
yeah.
Um, the same type of analogy can be played within the business world when you're looking at your customers and looking within your own industry.
So, like for an example, we're all in. You and I are both in service-based businesses. We happen to both be in the residual. So we normally get clients and they stay on for years. There are times where people may pause or cancel a service, and you hope that it's for a reason that they're moving and they sold the business or something like that. But there are times where people just, they say you provided what I needed, but you didn't, your cadence, you didn't have a consistent communication, or something may be off. So what do? You have to see, what did I do? Did I do this wrong? Did I do that wrong? And then you make an action plan. Like, what am I going to do now so I never lose another client? What are we
Mhm.
going to change differently? Did the phones disconnect in the middle of conversations, and the people wanted to cancel a phone service because of that. So
Mhm.
what are we doing? You don't want to just forget that it happened and then just wait for the next time. You want to sit back, talk with your partners, talk with yourself, talk with your associates, see what you did, and then make sure you fix it so it hopefully doesn't happen again. So the same thing like with the athletes. Why do they watch tape so much after a game? You even see it now in a lot of the NHL games. They have like iPads on the benches. What did I do wrong? What did I do? So the same thing. Everyone they make in hockey games and any leagues out there. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of mistakes that are made every game. So they're trying to teach the players do this better, change this. You should have passed it that way. You should have
Mhm.
peeked this way. So it's not just business either. It's life, right? We all make mistakes in our own lives, but learning from
Mhm.
what we did and what we can do better next time, that's how you
Mhm.
grow as a person, as a business person, as an athlete. And that's what we want everyone to continue to accomplish in their life and their business and their dreams.
You bring up a good point with a lot of these athletes in hockey, even in football, and you see it also in baseball too. They're picking up those iPads and they're looking at the tablets and they're looking at like pitch by pitch and they're looking at the play going down the field or the passing of the puck. So you want to be able to do the same thing where you're going to analyze, that time with that customer, especially ones that say yes to you. What made that customer want to sign that deal with you? Did you cultivate that relationship to the point where there was a lot of trust built up there? You answered all their questions, etc. Then you want to examine the ones that, are on the fence with you. It's like, okay, now can I incorporate the success I had with the ones that are on the fence, and the ones that you've had failure with, can you revisit them? Because you know what? I've revisited customers that said no. And you know what? I've turned them into yeses, because you're coming back, letting them know, hey, listen, I will adore you as a customer. I will cherish you. You know what? What do I need to do to get your business? If it's a price factor, tell me the price. What's the price that'll make you do this deal? Let's be realistic with me. Tell me the price that we can close this deal and create a long list lasting relationship. That is so important to do with the customer. You know what? And that you got to make them think because they can't bullshit you.
Yeah, listen, every time you get a lead, you're trying to make a sale, you're not going to get every one of them. But if you're listening, right, a lot of times people go in there and they just say what they want to say. They don't really listen to the prospect. If you listen, you have a better chance of closing that deal. However, it's never 100%. It may be focused on budget, right? What are they willing to spend? It may be based on their expectation. They may just have unrealistic expectations. So it's
Mhm.
your job as a salesperson to figure out the right route to take to try and make it happen and be ethical. You don't want to be one of those people that just tell the people whatever they want to hear and then get
Mhm.
a cancellation 2, 3 months later or a month later. So and we've seen that a lot. We keep a list of all the prospects that did not close, and then we put them in a regular funnel where we'll hit them up through email, text, phone number, and we'll call them and we'll say we talked 3 months ago, 6 months ago, the time wasn't right. What can we do now differently to make this work? You
Mhm.
were a little concerned about the budget. That's because you're looking to do X, Y, and Z. But if you're looking to generate a little less, we can probably reduce the price a little bit. You'd be surprised. You can't just give up. Leads are hard to get, sales are hard to make, clients are hard to keep, right? So let's figure out ways to do better on all of them.
100%. And just to, go full circle with this conversation, one thing you have to do, especially an entrepreneur, and you got to incorporate into your sales team and your company, but more importantly, your sales team, you got to create routines that turn into habits. It's so important because it's going to build up success in individuals or build up their confidence. So keep that always in mind in how you're approaching things. Any thoughts?
Don't just have an SOP just so you say you have an SOP. Follow what you're putting together. And, I know so many people that will do that as well. They spend years putting together SOPs and they don't follow them themselves. So keep it
And by
simple.
the way, Jonathan, just define SOPs for people out there who might be on the fence of becoming entrepreneurs.
Right? The standard operating procedures in your company. So
Okay, and
what
that's
do you
what you
want?
want to do.
Yeah, what do you want to standardize? Do you want to, bring in a client, build them, onboard them, you know, what is your process? But make it a process that you can do. Don't make it, you can always add to it, right? You always will. You'll make them better every day, every year, but don't make it so long that you just won't follow it. So,
And here's the thing with the SOP, which Honest is saying, if you do not concentrate on that, that SOP is going to turn into an SOS, meaning same old shit. Okay. So be smart in how you do things and how you approach it, and you'll be very successful. Listen, we appreciate your time. Hopefully, we're giving you some creative knowledge for you. Please like and subscribe. We need those like buttons, so please hit it. You guys have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye bye.
going.